Hi dolls, welcome back to my channel. Happy Sunday. How are you guys doing? If you're new here, I'm Ayanna. If you're returning, hey girl, hey, welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. Even if you're not returning, if you're new, I appreciate you both for being here and spending your day with me. Today I'm back with another mukbang. Bang, 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 daddy, please. You know, mukbang. I think it's really called a mukbang, but I'm going to call it mukbang because I think it sounds better. But anyway, welcome back to another mukbang. Welcome to my channel. I'm so happy to have you here. I am back with Outback. This is my favorite pasta from them. If you watch my last video, well, not my last video, but one of my last videos, I'll put it up here. Is Outback the chicken and shrimp Queensland pasta. And today I got just fried shrimp instead of a lobster tail because, honey, they don't have lobster. Talking about... Same thing Piata is saying, I guess because of the, you know, whatever, the pandemic that's going on right now, people are not getting high priced items. I wanted some lobster. So I just got some crispy shrimp or whatever. So it is what it is. And then they didn't have cocktail sauce. They didn't tell me that until I pulled up. Like, honey, why didn't you tell me you didn't have cocktail sauce? I wouldn't have got shrimp. I would have got, like, I don't know. I ain't in the mood for a steak. I don't know what I would have got. Probably nothing, but okay, fine. I just went and stopped and got me some cocktail sauce because I didn't have any. So yeah, and I also have some wine here. I'm drinking a little today. Are you guys having a drink? Before you have a seat, be sure to grab yourself something to eat, honey, because I got a story time for you today, like always. So let me dive into these shrimp. If you're new, I do videos. My channel consists of natural hair, mukbangs, clean with me's, shop with me's, and home decor. So if you like that type of thing, then just keep on watching. I also got my phone out here instead of paper this time because I took some notes. And like I said, if you're new here, you probably don't know, but my memory is horrible. I had brain surgery, so you know, I don't remember shit. Okay, yeah, so I'm starving. I haven't ate since lunchtime. So, the story time that I have today is from a show called Obsessed, or Obsession, I think. Obsession, it starts off with a woman cooking in her kitchen with her kids, you know, single mom. She's a single mom. She has three daughters. I'm going to just call her Sandra. In her kitchen, talking to her daughter. She has an older daughter. Well, not older, but she's a teenager. She has an older daughter. And they're in the kitchen or whatever, just hanging out. She works full time, so she's pretty busy on top of being a mom. Oh, yeah, and if y'all order this, make sure you get extra sauce. I already poured some on here, but it's still not enough. They're pretty stingy with the Alfredo sauce. I don't know who wants some dry-ass pasta, but okay. So, yes, honey. So, this is so good. I love this pasta. It's so good. Chicken and shrimp. But anyway, she's hanging out in the kitchen with her daughters or whatnot. She says she doesn't get out much, so one of her friends invites her to a party. She doesn't go out that often, so of course she was excited to go. So one of her sisters, her and her sisters are close, and they don't live too far from each other. Her sister keeps the kids for her, so she can go out and have a good time. Oh, nothing wrong with that. So she goes out, and while she's out hanging out with her girls, they're like sitting in this little booth area. Her and a few of her girls are sitting down chatting, and then this guy comes up, you know, normal guy talk. Hey, how are y'all doing or whatever? You ladies drinking tonight? Well, it was one of her friend's birthday, so he asked whose birthday it was. And the girl had on a tiara. It was clear whose birthday it was, but he wanted Sandra. So, and he's like, okay, well, I can't tell whose birthday it is, so let me just buy you all a drink. So he buys them a shot or whatever, and Sandra asks, I'm going to call him Jay. Sandra asks Jay what he does for a living, you know, and thanks him for the drink or whatever. And he says, I own my own business. I have a lawn care service. She's like, oh, okay, that's nice. And he pulls out a business card. And he's like, give me a call. You might need your lawn done. And she's like, no, I have a lawn guy. Been having a lawn guy. I won't need your services. So the night goes on. You know, they're both mingling, doing their own thing. So a week later, well, at first she said he kept insisting on giving her the card. And she's like, I don't need it. I have a lawn man. Like, why would she need his card? But he said, you might need it. Like I said, you never know. So a week later, her lawn man calls and says, I got in an accident. I got in an accident and I won't be able to cut your grass for a few weeks. So she's like, oh no. But in the series, they show, like, basically something happened because of Jay. Okay. So, she's like, oh no, but she lives in a house. And if you live in a house or own a house or whatever, you know, she said that she couldn't risk not getting her grass cut because the city workers ride by and they will send you a fine. Yes, that's happened to me before. Well, I didn't get a fine, but he told me, like, you know, you need to get this cut, ma'am. It was raining every day. Nobody had to get their grass cut in the rain and you had to get it cut again in 3 days. So she pulls out her card, Jay's card, out of her purse. This is so good. I love pasta and creamy stuff. I think Mexican and Italian are my favorite foods. I don't know which one I like more, but oh yes, I can eat this or nachos every day, tacos or whatever. But anyway, she calls Jay up. Hey Jay, this is Sandra. I'm calling to get my yard done. He's like, okay, cool. A couple days later, he comes to cut her grass. So he shows up like, haha, you caught me just in time. I guess her grass was high. So he's all giggly and happy-go-lucky that she called. She's thinking it's because of the yard, but he's just a little off. So he cuts her yard or whatever. He cuts her yard. After he's done cutting the yard, he asks her out on a date. She said no. Four weeks later, he comes back to cut the grass. Does a good job. Ask her out again. She said this went on and on. Every time he came to cut the grass, every time he asked her out. So she's like, no. But she said he was very persistent, but it wasn't in like a mannish way, like, you want to go out? He was just asking her, like, you want to go out? You want to go out? Hey, and she would always decline. It turned into like a playful, like, routine type of thing. She didn't think nothing of it. So one day, when he came to do a yard, he ended up planting her some flowers. But the way he planted the flowers, she's like, what is this? It's spelled drinks. Like, I want to take you out for some drinks. So they give you the shrimp on the Barbie here. Yeah. So she thinks that's really cute. She's not attracted to the J at all. But all the effort he's putting in. You know how long it takes to plant flowers and he's spelling out words? So he planted her flowers. She thinking it's cute. So he asked her out again jokingly. She says yes, and he jumps up like, huh? Really? So she agrees. So once she agrees, you know, they set up a date or whatever. So she's getting dressed and goes out with him. She's familiar with him because he's been cutting her grass for a few weeks. But she said as soon as she agreed, she felt off, like something was telling her something was wrong. So a month or so later, they go out. Once they get out, she said she regretted as soon as she got there. He kept complimenting her all night and just staring at her like a creep. So I saw her just drinking, you know, drinking by herself basically, while he just sitting there looking at her like a creep. Oh no, something flashed on my face. I don't want nothing on my lash again. Last video I had some cheese or something on my eyelash. I don't know, but so he sits there standing there like a creep. So that the night ends, they get drinks, he takes her home or whatever, and he's like, oh, I had a good time. And she's like, you know, I had a good time, but it's not going to go any further than this. Like, I like being your friend, and that's pretty much it. So Jay turns into a... So Jay gets an attitude. She said she never seen him not happy before. He's always so happy-go-lucky when he comes cut the grass. So she's not used to seeing that face on him. So then she pulled the "It's not you, it's me" card. That she didn't want a boyfriend right now. It's not him. I just don't want to be with nobody right now. And he's like, oh, we just got to give it some time. And she's just like, no, it's not going to work. So then his face immediately turns into a smile. That was crazy activated. So she said she thought that was really weird how his face went from madman to happy-go-lucky within a matter of 1 second. So she's just like, okay, whatever. You know, hope there's no hard feelings. So there wasn't. To her, she didn't think. So the next morning, he texts her, you know, good morning, I had a good time with you last night. Most dudes do after your first date or whatever. Okay, she thinks it's normal. Then she starts getting texts back to back. How are you? What are you doing? How's your day? I hope you're okay. Blah, blah, blah. Like back to back to back. All day. Like, did she tell you last night it wasn't going to be nothing? Why you texting her in the first place? Look. She said he sent so many text messages and he was persistent. She felt like it was rude not to respond. But then it got annoying because it was literally nonstop. Like text after text after text after text. After her taking a while to respond. So after that, she called him and told him, hey, you know, Jay, like, what is up? Why are you texting me back to back like this? He picks up the phone. He's a manipulator. He picks up the phone like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. And she's like, yeah, stop doing that. Okay, cool. So some time goes by. He had got the picture for a little while. A time go by, and then, 4 months later, late at night, he just sends her a random text. This is not after not talking to him for a few months. A random text late at night, and he said, I want out of the friend zone. And she's like, what the hell? First, number one is disrespectful. Two, I ain't talked to you. Don't be texting me this late. You know, so he wants out of the friend zone. She didn't respond. So here he goes with the back-to-back text messages again. His last text said, answer me. Like, answer me, B. So she wakes up out of her sleep and calls him. What is wrong with you, Jay? That's what she's saying. Why are you texting me all this stuff? There's never going to be anything between us. Stop this. So the next morning, her normal routine, she's getting up, getting ready for work. She walks outside. And it's a bottle of wine in the gift bag and a note on the wine that says, I'm sorry, Jay. She's creeped out. She like, was he here while I was sleeping? Like outside my house? Like, what are you doing? But she's not telling anybody any of this, so she's really keeping all this bottled up into herself. So she's creeped out, but she goes to work. She goes to work and she calls them and said, "Don't come to my house anymore. Stay away from me. I'm not interested." And he keeps calling and texting. So one of her coworkers ends up asking her, "Who is this? What's going on?" And she tells her coworker, and her coworker is all like, "Ooh, somebody's smitten over you." And she's like, "It's not funny. This is serious." So the coworker didn't take her serious. So this turned her into thinking, no one is going to believe me, because who wouldn't want a man to be smitten over them? I guess like nobody would if you don't like his ass. Well, whatever. Her coworker is like, "Oh, he's smitten." So she don't say nothing else to nobody about it. So she goes on to work for the rest of the day and ends up, thinking, okay, she's in the clear because she told him, "Stay away from me," after all that. So this is now 6 months after meeting Jay. Nothing has came back. No more texts or anything has came through. In about 2 months, no text or anything had came through. So she's thinking she's in the clear. Like, okay, he finally got the picture, but he didn't. So the yard man came back and Jay is gone. She thinking, like I said, he's out of the picture. So she goes over her friend's house for New Year's. Stays the night. They have a little girls' night. She stays the night because they were drinking or whatever. The next morning she gets up to leave to go home, and it's a note on her car. I don't know what the note said. I couldn't read it, but probably just some "I'm sorry" shit. "I've been missing you" or whatever. And she started feeling sick to her stomach. Like, she's like, "Oh my God, this is starting up again." She's scared. She ain't already told nobody but her coworker. Sandra got 3 girls. She live at home by herself. She's scared to death. Why she didn't tell the police? She said she didn't want people to think she was making it up. She was embarrassed. So her friend comes outside because she's standing outside just in a daze. Her friend's like, "What's up? What's wrong?" And she's like, "This note, this guy has been stalking me." I tells her the situation. The friend is like, "You need to call the cops." She's like, "I don't want to, because he hasn't did anything to physically harm me or threaten me. He just knows where I am, basically. That's harassment, boo. Huh. I'm pressing charges. Get your creep ass away from me. Okay? Don't come near me." So she calls him on a drive home, and she like, "How did you find me? Leave me alone." And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you. Like, I'm sorry again." And she's like, "Oh no, I communicated with him." Even by calling him, telling him, "Don't call, leave me alone." But that open communication with Jay, that made him feel like, oh, I got her back again, because she called him, because he's out of his mind. So she ends up going home or whatever. She starts getting texts saying, "You're mine, where you're at," etc. Like, "You're mine." Like, what? "I have not seen you. We went on one date. I ain't gave you no pee. I ain't gave you no coochie, no nothing." He is obsessed, and he ain't got a thing from her, okay? No nothing. So she's like, just ignoring the text. She didn't respond to anything. She ended up using her daughter's phone because she didn't want to use her phone no more, but she said she didn't want to go through the trouble of changing her number. So she gets to work. A phone call comes in. It's Jay. She gets on the phone, and he's like, it's not funny because it's a serious case, but he's like, "Who did your lawn?" And she's like, "What?" He's like, Who did your lawn? That's my job, bitch. Jay is crazy as hell, okay? This is my job, bitch. Don't you have nobody else cutting that yard. So she's like, what? Don't ever call here again. Still ain't telling nobody. Her coworker asked, who is that? What's wrong? And she just like, nothing. Because her coworker made her feel stupid the first time, I guess. So she goes on about her day, but now she's scared because he's calling her job. Like, how does he know all this stuff about her? I don't know. He's been sitting on the corner stalking her or something. But she works late. And it's being the last one there. Why? But ends up being the last one there. And while she's walking out, Jay's standing outside. He walks up on her as she's walking out. He walks up on her and says, don't tell me what I can and can't do. This is a free country. Like, just crazy, okay? Like, crazy as hell. She's scared to death. She's startled. One, it's dark outside. She's even worried. He scared her. She didn't expect him to be there. And he's talking about it's a free country. Don't tell me what to do. After he tells her, this is a free country. Don't tell me what to do about not stalking her, basically. Like, what the hell? What is wrong with you, Jay? And then he goes into smiling mode again and gives her gas money. He says, I just wanted to give you gas money. She's so scared and confused. Like, what? He's went from complete psychopath to smiling, like, handing her money. So he gave her gas money and walks out. And she's like, she was so startled. She couldn't think to not say no, or scared to say no, or whatever. And, after that, she started thinking, like, started regretting it, like, damn, I shouldn't have took this money. Because it's going to make him think it's something. But she was too scared to say anything. Or even think about saying anything. So she goes ahead and go home because she's scared to death. So that night ends. That's it. So now it's 10 months later. 10 months later, she's at work. He started coming into her job more and more. She said it started off in February. He would come in a few times a month. To March, it would be weekly. And then April, it started turning into daily. He was there every day. Every shift she worked, he was there. Just sitting around staring at her. She didn't tell her coworkers or anything. Even though she was startled, she was dropping stuff. Because she said she didn't want to bring no drama to the job. She didn't want her boss to find out. Because, you know, employers will fire you for that. Like, hey, they don't care about your well-being. You bring the drama to our job. So she didn't say anything. So she just working scared all day, basically. 1 year after they went out, she goes out with her coworkers. Goes to a local bar. Didn't go home to change clothes or anything. She said it was too late. They didn't have time. So they out dancing, having a good time. One of her coworkers says to her, I want to introduce you to somebody. And she's like, no at first, but then she's like, okay, cool. The heat just cut on y'all. That's what y'all probably hearing. That loud noise in the background. But okay, cool. So she's talking to this guy. I'm going to just call him Eddie. Eddie. Cool. She likes him or wherever they talk, but she has to go home. She want to go home to her kids. Because this night she let her daughter watch the kids. So she goes home to her kids. But in the meantime, while she's in the club, she feels somebody staring at her, staring her down. She turns and guess who it is? Jay. They're staring at her like the devil. She said a cold look, just drinking, sipping a drink, staring at her. He didn't saw her talking to this guy, Eddie. So she goes home again without telling a soul. She don't think nobody can do anything because he hasn't physically harmed her or threatened her. So she don't tell anybody. And there's a lot of women who think that. Tell ladies, that shit is harassment. It's menacing. You can get a protection order, all that. So, a week later, a week goes by. She liked Eddie vibes, so she went ahead and called him. They goes on a date. She again leaves her kids at home with their oldest daughter. Her daughter is responsible, felt like she can, you know, cook them dinner or whatever and keep an eye on them. So she leaves them at home. A lot of moms do that. So while she's on a date, the phone rings. It's Jay asking weird questions like, what are you doing? And then he tells her like, oh, okay, I'm just getting ready to go to bed. I'm checking on you. And she's like, okay, like I haven't talked to you in 4 months. Like, and we never talked like that in the first place. So the date goes on. She said they were out for a few hours. She was having such a good time with Eddie. They were playing pool that she didn't realize how long it had been. Throughout the night, she was getting text messages and stuff saying, I need you, I love you, I want you, from Jay. But she didn't hear her phone because her purse was down because she was hanging out with her date. So on the way home from the date, Eddie he's like, damn, who blowing up their phone? You got a boyfriend? And she's like, no, it's just this guy. She didn't want to tell him because she didn't want to scare him away. So they pulls up to her house. It's a pickup truck in her driveway. Jay drives a pickup truck. So she tells them to keep going, go around the corner. So they go around the corner. Jay pulls out the driveway and follows them. So they come back to the house. Eddie pulls up in the driveway. Jay runs into the back of their car. Jay runs into the back of this man's car. They both hit the dashboard, you know, jerking or whatever. By the time they could even think to get themselves together, Jay is walking out of the car, walks up to their car with a gun. He walks up to the car with a gun, just staring at them. Then he shoots through the window. He didn't hit anybody at that time. So Eddie gets out and tries to wrestle with him. I don't know what happened to him during that time because they didn't really say. But he ended up getting shot behind his ear. I don't know if that's why they was wrestling or why they was in a car. But he ends up getting shot behind his ear. So whatever happened, he ended up getting Eddie on the ground. He comes looking for Sandra. She's crawling on the ground trying to get to her house because she's at home. She's in her driveway. Her kids are inside. She's scared for her daughters. Before she can get inside, he flips her on her back, talking to her, talking about, you know, I need you, I love you. And she's just like, Jay, stop this. Like, stop. Like, what's wrong? What is going on? And he's like, I need you. And then he says, I love you. And then he just starts pistol whipping her with the pistol, y'all. Like, beat her to a pulp. Pistol whipping the hell out of this lady. They never did. Even if they did have sex or had a relationship, there's still no reason for you to do that. Like, these men are crazy. So he ends up pistol whipping her. And he stares over her with a gun like he's going to kill her. But she's knocked out. I don't know if he thought she was dead or what, but you can hear sirens in the background. The police were coming. Somebody called the cops because they heard gunshots. So he ends up running off. So, after he runs off, she eventually wakes up. I guess the sirens were not for her. She eventually wakes up, goes down to her neighbor's house, knocks on her door, bloody all over the place. So the neighbor calls the cops. The neighbor's calling the cops like, my neighbor has just been shot. She said a guy did it. She's bleeding all over the place. Of course, the 911 people are asking, like, is she awake? Is she alive? And all that. Like, just get here, ma'am. I just told you somebody to get shot. Just send the damn car. So the police end up getting there a little while later, and they find Eddie and said that Eddie was grazed. Well, I'm not going to say grazed, because they said he was shot behind his ear. I don't know what the extensive damage was. So, and she ended up he didn't shoot her, but he beat her so bad it took her a while to hear. They both ended up fully recovering, but while she was resting on the ground, she did say she couldn't move. Like, that's why she was crawling. Her leg hurt. He had ended up shooting her in the leg, actually. He shot her in the thigh area, and she didn't know what it was. She said she felt a sharp pain, but she was just so distraught about what was going on, she couldn't move. So he ended up shooting her in the leg. Not on purpose, though. I don't know if that's when he shot through the window or what, but he ended up shooting her leg so she couldn't move. So they both ended up fully recovering, Eddie and Sandra. So Jay got arrested. The police went and got him. He got arrested. So he ended up pleading not guilty to attempted murder in jail. In court, I mean, but it still charged him anyway. This case is from, well, I guess 2011 because it was over a year span. So in 2012, he was convicted of attempted murder and sentenced to 50 years. Like, this nigga was crazy as hell. You doing all this and ain't got no nothing, even if you got some coochie. Honey, it's not that serious. Move on with your life. But 50 years, he's about, probably, he looked about 20 crazy. I don't know, about 28 or something. 20 damn crazy, okay? 20 crazy. And he got 50 years, so he'll get out when he's about 75. I would be scared to death because he's clearly obsessed with this lady. She's a cute girl. But still, like, people are crazy, y'all. Like, crazy. Who does that? I guess a lot of people, because it's a lot of these shows. But yeah, the show is called Obsessed. If I can find, I watch this on actual TV, so I might not have a link, but if I can find the link, it would definitely be linked down below. But she said her and Eddie are still cool. He comes over, barbecues with them and stuff. They're not dating or anything, but she said that's somebody that she feel like she can really be friends with. So, I mean, they had a traumatic experience together, so they still remain close. So yeah, that's what happened with that story. And honey, Jay must got split personalities or something, because his ass is cray. So, but anyway, the show is called Obsession, Fear of Darkness, or something like that, like, or Obsessed. I don't know. I'll link it down below. But yeah, it's a good show. They have the reenactments of the show, but they have the real woman in there telling you what happened, because thankfully she's still alive. So she's in there telling you what happened, but they have actresses and actors reenacting the scene. But yeah, that's it for that story. So down below, right here somewhere, you'll probably see on my playlist. If you enjoy Storytime Mukbangs, I have a few more mukbangs below. You can just click that playlist below to your right, and it'll take you right to all my other mukbangs. I hope you enjoyed the story time. What would y'all do, ladies, if you had a man going crazy over you? I'm calling the cops. But anyway, yeah, enjoy. I hope you enjoyed the story time. I enjoyed having you here with me. I hope you had yourself something to eat, girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever's watching. Be sure to click the icon. Be sure to hit subscribe. I really appreciate you for watching and hanging out with me. I'm full as hell, y'all. Full, okay? I want to take a nap. I need a nappy nap. I'm about to lay down. But anyway, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.